Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. I am off, so I thought let's have some fun. And I decided that I was going to go fall. I didn't. I don't know what. I feel like this is like the deepest, darkest of winter, to be fair. But the palette said fall. I don't know how I got here. Well, I know how I got here. I just didn't think I'd get here, if that even makes sense. But let's get into this. So, for foundation, I'm wearing the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. Love that. Then, I realized I had some stuff sitting over here. Now I know why I have it sitting to the side. Because I don't like it. And, well, here's the thing. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. Okay? I don't know the shade. Or, yes, I do. I'm sorry. I have it in Classic Ivory. Here's the thing with this. I think it is too light for under the eyes and too drying for me for under the eyes. However, I also think it's too light for my skin. But in highlighting areas, you know what I mean? I think it works beautifully. And you don't have to set it. It's like, I don't know. It's so weird. Because it's creamy and thick going on, to be fair. But it dries. You got to work really quick with it, I find. Maybe it's just me and my skin, and that's why. I don't know. But my skin sucks this up. So, but it does cover really, really well. I will say that. Like blemishes and stuff, it covers it really well. But it's not my favorite for under the eyes. Maybe I'll try a different shade. I don't know. I don't know. But I know why it's sitting over here to the side, though. That I do know. Alright, then for the setting powder under the eyes through the T-zone, all that is the Prism Libre, the old version. I'm just trying to use it up since we can't get it no more. The rest of the face is my Too Faced Peach Perfect. Again, one of those things you can't get anymore. I wish they'd bring it back. I don't know why they discontinued that powder. It was and is amazing. It really is. It blurs the skin, sets everything down, smells amazing. But yeah, they got rid of it. For what reason? Don't know. So, let's see. For lipstick, I'm wearing Urban Decay in Manic cream version. Just a little sample thing. Using it up. I will say I think this color is really pretty for fall. Should have put a lip liner on, but I didn't. But here we are. Then, for the rest of the face, I went in, or the bronzer, blush, and highlighter is all by Hourglass, okay? I pulled out the Dragon Palette again. And I'm wearing, let's see, I'm wearing the bronzer in Soft Bronze. The blush is Peach Fusion. And the highlighter is Sunlight Strobe Light. Okay. Alright, so bronzer, blush, highlighter. The blush, let's start with it. It is so pretty in this palette, okay? It's like marble with like, it looks like bronzer and blush mixed, right? So it's Peach Fusion. I don't see peach on my skin tone. But maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not seeing it. I don't know. To me, it looks more pink than peach. Like, maybe like a pinky peach, but more pink leaning. Like, I don't see the peach. The highlighter's amazing. Let me tell you what I used, actually, because I do think the bronzer played a big part. So, for my highlighter, like I always use, unless I have to use a natural hair for whatever reason, this little Technique brush. Love it for highlighter. It is the best brush in the world for highlighter. Cream, it doesn't matter what it is. Powder cream, best brush for highlighter, hands down. For blush, I use the Natasha Denona brush that I've been using. It's one of her little brushes, number 17. I just think it's perfect for whatever it is you're doing. You know what I mean? Perfect. The bronzer. So the bronzer in this palette is in the middle, right? Which I don't like. I'm going to be honest. I don't like them in the middle. Because my brushes are big. And I don't know what size bronzer brush you use. Mine's generally big. And if my brush is like the size of both of these put together, pretty much, you know what I mean? It's huge. But well, here, this is the type of brush I like to use for bronzer, right? So compare, I mean, I guess it's not the size of both, but my brush is going to hit this and this, or one or the other, you know what I mean? There's no way, I mean, even if I took it sideways, I'm still, well, I guess I could get it that way. But I also find if I use this brush with this bronzer, it is so sheer and it takes me so long to build it up, okay? Well, it's like, well, I have to have a smaller bronzer brush, you know, I have to. And I'm sure I do. I just don't know where. And I've been at work, so I haven't had time. So I was sitting here, and I have this little mini set from Sonia G that I got through Beautylish when it launched. And I love this little set. The foundation brush, the concealer brush, like I use them all the time. But I never really used this little brush because I thought I don't want it for blush. And I thought it was too small for bronzer. And I guess highlighter, like I feel like it's too big for that. So, and then that just leaves setting powder. And it's not quite the shape that I like for setting powder, you know what I mean? Anywho, I thought, you know what though? This would fit perfect in bronzer. Let's try it, right? It worked. And not only did it work, I did not have to spend all day building because it is smaller. Now, these brushes are very, very soft, as Sonia G brushes are. They're expensive, but they're soft. And I went and I put it in, and I will say that it probably took me a little longer than usual, like applying it in the sense of it's a smaller brush. But at the same time, if I use a bigger brush with this powder, it takes me longer anyway because I'm building it, right? So it kind of evened itself out, to be fair. But this applied it with just enough pigment that I wanted. It didn't, I don't know, but it fits perfectly. I wouldn't say this is like my go-to brush for bronzer, but if I'm using this particular palette because the bronzer's in the middle, this would be the brush that I would grab for, unless I find a smaller bronzer brush that I have, and I like I said, I know I do, I just don't know where. So there's that. And then everything else is fine. And in the other palette that I have, and I am curious on getting the third one. I know. Tell me no. Tell me no. The bronzer's on the side, so it kind of does make it a little bit easier, but I shouldn't have to struggle. And I saw the Hourglass brushes they launched with it. And here's the thing. That they're beautiful. They are. And I know they're made for that. And so I know they'll fit. But the price tag to that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is worth it, you know? But I don't like two-ended brushes either. So there's that, too, that plays its part. But at the same time, I really like that formula from Hourglass. Like, I love Hourglass products, so I don't know. I don't know. But I will say that I've enjoyed having those. But again, I like the Too Faced one, too. So either way, you're not going to be, you know, not liking whichever one you get. If you don't want to spend the money, it's too much, try the Too Faced. If you want to spend money, go for the Hourglass. Either way, can't go wrong. The eyes. So, the palette I thought right off the bat, as soon as people started talking about fall, was the Fall Romance by ABH, right? Now, I don't know, like everybody has their own image of fall, right? And I don't know what your image is, but mine is deep dark browns, blacks, green, like grungier greens, grungier yellows, maybe even oranges, stuff like that. Like the dyeing of the trees and stuff, those sort of colors that you see. I know a lot of people like jeweled tones. I don't know where that comes from. Like, where are you seeing jeweled tones in fall? I mean, I get it in the sense of, like, because it's told to us. Like, I see it. When I see a jeweled tone palette, I'm like, oh, fall. But it's like, really? You know, I just don't see it. But maybe you guys do. And you could tell me. Maybe it's the sky. I don't know. Anyway, I thought about the ColourPop, the jewel tone thing that they have. But at the end of the day, I feel like a fall romance, it sounds good, you know? So I pulled it out and I was going to do a fall look. So I thought, I'm not knocking this look because I think it is gorgeous. Like, it's very pretty. And I used colors that I don't usually use. And I did things I usually don't do while applying the makeup, as you'll get ready to see. So I'm not hating the look, but I don't think that it's necessarily what I was necessarily going for either. Let's just say that. So the first shade we're going to go into is Ember, which is this shade right here. And I will let you guys know, do be careful. These shades are pigmented, as most ABH palettes are. So we're just going to start with this shade and blend. Like, I do think the look turned out really pretty. I do. I just feel like it's more wintry, gloomy than fall. Although I will say today it's raining, so it kind of fits with the weather here, to be honest. So, you know, there's that. And I'm just trying to get ahead because tomorrow I was supposed to pull a double. Technically, I was working one job and then the other, but they moved me. So I'm only working one job now, but I had to pick up a day that I was off, technically. But it's all good, you know. We're going to take that same shade Ember and run it under the lower lash line. I don't know though. Like, so far, I'm loving Ulta. But, you know, to be fair, I kind of figured I would. But I thought, I don't know if I said where I was working for the second job, but it's Marshall's. I don't even know if we're supposed to say, but there. I'm not a fan. I don't know what it is. It's I guess different type of running a store. I don't know. I mean, it's completely different, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a different all the way around. There's more to it, all that stuff. But and the thing is that at these, which I find interesting, because I would have just assumed, had I not worked these places, that, like, there's just, like, some people are cashiers, some people work the floor, some people are in the back store. You know what I mean? That's how I assumed it. I was wrong. We're going to go into Crimson. But that's everywhere. I didn't realize that. Like, no, you gotta know how to do everything. You know? And I don't know how I feel about that. Because, like, there's things that, I mean, obviously there's things I don't like. There's things everybody don't like. But, like, I didn't mind the cashier part. I didn't mind the sorting part, hanging part, like, all of that. But I don't know about, like, the floor part. I don't know. I just don't know. And I know it's kind of like Ulta. I do a little bit of everything, so I get that too. And I love that. But I get why I love that. I'm going through, I'm sorting, I'm seeing all new products or older products or products I never even knew. And it's a passion that I have. So I get why that doesn't bother me. And the people there are amazing. I mean, just amazing. But I don't know. And it's not like the people aren't, well, there's some amazing people at Marshall's. There are. And I know that a lot of it can just be me, because, like, I'm shy. I am. It is what it is. I mean, I'm sitting in a room talking to a camera, y'all. Like, I am shy. Now, once I know you, or if you strike up a conversation, I can talk. But I'm never the one to, like, just start a conversation, I guess, you know? And it's like when I go to work, I want to work. I don't want to stand there and wait or like a customer or something. It's like, can we clean? Like, I'm like that, you know? I don't know. Maybe it'll get better once I get through everything, training and all that, and maybe decide like what I like, and maybe I can get that particular position type of thing, you know? Alright, we're going to go back into Ember now, that first shade. I don't want to lose that shade, but these shades are so pigmented. It's crazy. I should have tapped the brush off. I wasn't thinking. That's alright. We can blend it. May take a second, but we'll get there. Swish it around everywhere. That's my answer to everything. Just keep blending. It'll be fine. Okay, now what I did was I took the shade Midnight. Okay, here was my thought process. I wonder if they created this to go together. Okay? Think about it. You have like Midnight Moonlight, Smoke Fireside, Divine Crown. Like, do these colors, like, are they supposed to be like, but they're kind of not together, so it's like, well, maybe they're not meant to be. But then I thought maybe they are, so that's what we're doing. So the first shade I went into is Midnight. This one right here. And I put it all over the lid, right? Now, I didn't realize it was that dark. As you can see, it is a very dark, metallic purple. Is it gorgeous? Uh-huh. Yes, it is. Is it dark? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. We're going to get the magnifying mirror now, so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I didn't realize that. That was my first thing. Even though, I mean, it's still a very pretty look, like I said. And I do like the palette. I would say wait for a sale. Because this palette is still available. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I just looked the other day. Okay. Now, so you can see that that's a little more shinier, a little less, it's a little bit brighter too, like lighter but brighter than this side. I could have left it like this and been just fine too, but like I said, it was a little dark, and I was like, Moonlight, oh yeah, Midnight Moonlight, of course they'd be together. I mean, you have the Moonlight at midnight, so why not, right? So that was Moonlight, the purple. Now we're going to go into this shade right here, Moonlight. Or that was Midnight, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. And we're going to pop it in the inner corner. And then I was looking at it, and I thought, you know, I don't know if this is meant for this. You know what I mean? After looking at it and feeling it, I kind of felt like maybe it is like a topper. You see where I'm going with this now? I will say this little brush is amazing for inner corner to really get the shade in there, or the whatever you're doing. So I do love Natasha Denona brushes. I'm curious if she's bringing them back. They're almost all gone off of her website. Alright, so I put that in the inner corner, but the lid was still dark, and I thought, well, if it's midnight, the moonlight, right? So I'm going to pick it up on my finger, like that, and then I just tapped it right in the middle, basically, is what I did first. And I was like, ooh, that is pretty. But then I was like, it's still too dark for me personally. Although you could just do that and it is very pretty. It is. But I just put it on the whole lid at that point. Just sort of tapped it everywhere on the lid over top of that previous shade, which did sort of brighten it up a little bit. Make me feel a little bit, so it's not as dark. I mean, I guess this could be like a fall night though, so maybe this is a fall look. So I did it like that. But then I was like, well, I really wanted the emphasis to be, in the middle. So I picked up a little more and just tapped it right in the middle. I didn't get any fallout, which was amazing. I'm just making sure that it's in the middle of this lid too. Yep, perfect. Then I took the shade Twilight, because why would it not be in any of these looks? So I took it and I lined the top lash line and bottom lash line. I do think this palette is definitely on the darker side of things, for sure. But there's definitely fall in here. Like, I see that green, and I get it. And the one brown shade is like a green brown, so I get it. I even get the crimson shade for fall. The shade I use in the outer corner of my eye to darken it up. Amber I see as an orangey type brown. Like, I do kind of see fall in the palette. Line the lower lash line down. And y'all know I love our little reference brush here. It's the best lighting brush. If you have deep set eyes or hooded eyes, it's just perfect. It can create the smallest line if you wanted it to. I kind of made it a little bigger today than usual. But you can do whatever you want with it. And it's so small, it's easy to control. Like, you can't go wrong with that brush. Alright. I will say that Ember shade has like little sparkles in it. I'm not a fan of it. Or I'm a fan of the color, but not of the sparkles, because sometimes the sparkles will get underneath mine. It did on this one. It didn't on this one for whatever the reason. But they do wipe away, so that is nice. But still, we don't need it. I really don't think we do. But, I mean, like I said, I don't think this is fall by no means. But I do think it could be. It depends on what your color story is for fall, to be fair. We're going to use the Armani for mascara for the top lashes. I'll tell you what the brand that reminds me the most of fall, technically, Melt. I think Melt Cosmetics is fall and winter. Their palettes. I didn't want to pull out my Beetlejuice palettes again, to be honest. I'm going to wait till October probably. But I do want to pull them out and play with them. It's been a year since I've done it. Got that one. And then for the bottom lashes, Lancome. Bet you couldn't have guessed that one. Oh, I thought I made a mistake with that mascara. I thought it hit. Did it? Not seeing it. Alright, I think it's good enough. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't line the lower lash line. Or the top. I'm going to use the Tarte Fake Awake. That's what I used on the other side. I knew there was something I didn't do. Alright, so for filming wise, I think I can do a video for I don't think there will be a video on Friday. I could be wrong, but it is looking that way. Or Saturday. I'm not for sure which day it's going to fall on, but there will be a day there will be no video. I just don't know what day it will be because of the work schedule. And I'm trying really hard to do both, all three things, you know, but it's like before I go to work, I got to get everybody ready here to do whatever it is, whatever time it is, whether it's bedtime, getting up, whether it's whatever it is. When I get home, I then have to get everything ready for that, you know what I mean? So, or for the next day, whatever it may be. Like, it is what it is, I know, right? So trying to juggle it all, it's like, if I didn't, and I'm trying, we're new at this, so I'm trying to get the family to get behind me and help. It's like, I shouldn't have to come home and do dishes. Y'all are old enough, you know? I shouldn't have to come home and have your clothes laid out, like, except for my granddaughter. Y'all old enough, or to, you know, have everything ready for bath time, or bedtime, or whatever it is, you know? And I shouldn't have to get the dishes out of your room, or pick up your clothes. Like, I shouldn't have to do this stuff anymore. I do. And I shouldn't. I know it's a bad example. I know. So I'm trying now, and I know it's going to be hard because, you know, it takes rhythm, you know, routine, I guess, to get used to something. So hopefully it'll work out. But for now, it's still not. So I'm running out of time, basically. There's not enough time in the day to do it all. But anyway, I am trying still. So there's some new early releases that have kind of caught my eye, but then haven't caught my eye. Like the Too Faced, well, we'll get into that later. We'll talk about that. Maybe I could do a video on that today, on the new releases, on what's caught my eye and what hasn't so far for holiday, because I've definitely have made some passes, but I've also made some purchases. So, but anyway, let me know if you might be interested in that. I can always do that, and I will see you in the next one. If you like this video, if it helped in some way, if it entertained you, I don't know how, but it could. Me personally, I mean, I can entertain somebody. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I upload. I am trying to upload every day but Sunday, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, guys. Bye.